Hi again, everybody, and welcome to Inside Golf, presented by Susquehanna Bank and Wealth Management. Well, today we're at White Marsh Valley Country Club, and we're talking sports radio, sports talk radio, specifically in Philadelphia, where it has taken off over the years. And now it's as popular as ever. And one guy who has certainly made his mark, sports talk radio, and a lot of other things, is Mike Missanelli.
Harry, good to be with you.
MG Missinelli, for those of you who remember back in the day. But Mike is a member here at White Marsh. Let me take you down a little bit of your resume, your biography. Bristol High School.
Yes.
So you're a local guy. You went to Penn State. You play baseball at
Penn State?
Yes, I did,
and that's been a real bad thing for my golf game, believe me.
Okay. I thought the hand-eye coordination was good.
It doesn't quite work that way.
Okay. Were you good field, no hit?
No, I actually had a little bit of pop back then. You know, that's when I was doing the steroids. No. That's
juicy. See, we reveal a lot of stuff here on Inside Golf.
The thing about a baseball swing is you're used to flying out with your left hip, and so staying in the shot in golf has been problematic for me. But it's such a great time to get out there with the fellas here.
Continuing with the resume, Widener Law School. So at one point you thought law was going to be your calling.
Yeah, I got out of law school and passed the bar, and I was ready to make the transfer into law, and the journalism business kind of sucked me back in, and sports talk radio happened, and some TV appearances happened. Well, and my whole life's been luck, basically.
I was going to say, I thought I had a lot of jobs, but I think you've trumped me. Most recently, I mean, you're on every day on 97.5 The Fanatic, 2 to 6. You do Phillies postgame on Channel 17. You have a new show called Philly Feud.
Philly Feud.
Game show.
Yeah, 11 o'clock on Channel 17 on Saturday.
Saturday nights. And then you also do the Great Sports Debate on Comcast Sportsnet.
And I was teaching the class at St. Joe's, but I've decided to take a term off and maybe go back next term.
Well, let's pick it up with, okay, you were with the Inquirer for years. You were covering, I think the first time I met you, for my association with Temple. And John Chaney, you were covering Temple basketball with the coach.
Yeah, I was the college beat writer for the Inquirer for, I guess, 6 years. The first year was the 1988 season, where Temple was #1 in the nation for 9 weeks. And so that was a really great experience, covered #1 team. And, of course, they lost to Duke in that Eastern Regional Final at the Meadowlands.
Billy King shut down Mark Macon.
I had never seen them lose a game. I covered the game. They lost earlier in the year to UNLV. I wasn't on that trip because the Eagles were playing out there, and they made the Eagle beat writer. So I was in dumbfounded shock when they actually lost to Duke in that game.
Yeah, that was arguably one of the better, not only Temple teams, but better Big Five teams of all time. Okay, so then we bring it up to what happened getting into broadcasting? How did you decide? Because a lot of sports talk hosts
we all came from the Inquirer Sports Department, basically. And when WIP made the transition, and I don't work for that station now, but when they made the transition, they kind of solicited us to bring us on the air as guests, and then we had the idea to put our own show together. So for an hour on their morning show, we would come on and do our own show, the stuff we were covering. And the more they heard us, the more they liked us. So one by one, they made us offers we couldn't refuse, and all of a sudden we were sports talk radio hosts.
Yeah, and you worked with some great names in the day. Steve Fredericks, the old S&M show.
Oh yeah. When I started in radio, I was a novice. I just had weekend experience, and Steve was the venerable radio guy. So I really learned a lot on how to do radio from Steve Fredericks. I owe him a lot, and we got along very well, and I miss him.
What is the toughest part about your job right now?
Well, the toughest part is when nothing is happening. And
nothing, you mean in terms of sports stories?
Yeah, there's no angles to talk about, and this has been kind of a drought with you start with the winter season with the Sixers and the Flyers, and then you get into the Phillies, who started off with some hope, and then by the middle of the season they weren't really a viable entity, and so we were this whole sports talk radio thing over the last couple of months been anticipating the Eagles football season, and we finally got the first game. So now now football is entrenched in the minds of all the listeners out there.
But isn't it true, too, the dynamic of sports radio, that negativity breeds a lot of calls?
Well, it does.
So, for instance, like, Dave Montgomery's going to kill me, but I mean the fact that the Phillies season has basically gone downhill and is over right now, no playoffs.
But that kind of negativity doesn't sustain, because that's kind of out of sight, out of mind. When they don't have a chance, I think people kind of bail out of what's going on, and you can see the attendance is reflecting that now. So, but negativity when a team is viable in Philadelphia is really good, because everybody's a coach. You know, everybody's a coach, and everybody has their say, and they should have done this and they should have done that. So that's where Sports Talk Radio is really active, and you know, it gives Philadelphia fans a bad rap because they claim we're impatient and we're this and we're that. But I actually think this is the best city for Sports Talk Radio. I worked in New York for a couple of years. I've been all around listening to Sports Talk Radio. The people in Philadelphia really respond to Sports Talk Radio, and the opinions are plentiful.
Well, listen, golf is also a big part of Mike's life. He has all this free time. He's got to do something here at White Marsh. We'll be back to look at Mike's game and also talk about Mike and Sports Talk Radio in Philadelphia. Plus, later on today on Inside Golf, we're going to meet a gentleman. Actually, his son is the caddy master here at White Marsh Valley, Dan Donahue. His name is Joe Donahue. And Joe, at the ripe old age of about 81, is still toting a bag, not just anybody's bag. We're talking about Champion Tour players' bags. Stay with us. Inside Golf continues, presented by Susquehanna Bank and Wealth Management with Mike Missanelli from White Marsh Valley Country Club. Back in a moment. Inside Golf, presented by Susquehanna Bank. Susquehanna Bank, doing what counts. By Club Champion, better fit, lower scores. Visit their Bala-Cynwyd location. And by the Philadelphia Section PGA, experts in the game and business of golf.
Free enterprise is the engine that drives our economy. Everyday businesses, big and small, work to make life better for their customers and a better life for themselves. Susquehanna knows successful businesses need a strong financial partner, someone who can help keep your business running at peak efficiency. The people of Susquehanna Bank, doing what counts for businesses like yours. Member FDIC.
At this moment, across the country, families are packing their bags for a getaway. And no matter where they end up, they'll all be home by dinner. Plan your own at playgolfamerica.com. From finding fun and affordable programs to finding advice from PGA and LPGA professionals, playgolfamerica.com has a way for you to get away. Visit today for details. playgolfamerica.com, your link to the game.
Back to the phones. Double R, West Philly. You're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Welcome back Inside Golf today from White Marsh Valley Country Club. We're with Mike Missanelli. You know him from his weekday afternoon show, 2 to 6 p.m. on 97.5 The Fanatic, and we're talking about Mike's career and how it transitioned from the newspaper business into broadcasting, and now he's all over the place. I don't know how he got time even to sit down with me here today on a sweltering hot day. Mike, talk a little bit about some of the things that you do beyond sports every afternoon. I know you're big on pop culture, music, movies, and TV, Seinfeld, and the whole...
Yeah.
What is it? You're a real Renaissance guy.
The theory is that everybody's into that. I mean, in real life, everybody's talking about those type of things. So the radio show, if you're going to just keep it to sports, some people are going to tune out. But if you're talking about life issues, you're talking about pop culture, things that are going on today, people are going to listen. And we have a lot of ladies that listen to this show just because I venture off into various subjects and what's hot in TV world, or, you know, the Kardashians or something like that. You know, anything that's involved in pop culture right now, we talk about it. And I think it makes the show fun. It makes it move along. We use sports as the hub, but we spin off into other directions.
Something else that you have on a daily basis, I think it's late in the show every day, is sound off. Talk about that.
Yeah, the sound off concept is, you know, a lot of people don't have patience to stay on hold, and we're usually lined up with our 6 phones that are banged out all day. So we gave people a chance to, if they have an opinion, and everybody does, you call up a sound off line, we give them a special line, and they just leave a message. And that's exhilarating for people because there's nobody questioning them on the other end. Whatever thought is in their head, I'm not going to badger them. Boom, they can publish a thought, and I never hear them. They select the best ones, and it's kind of live action. So I respond in kind to the phone message that's been left.
So you're hearing it for the first time, like
I'm
everybody
hearing it the first
else.
time. It's all spontaneous.
Okay.
And I look at it like it's somebody on a phone line. And then they can't, well, the only thing is we can't engage in the conversation. But they usually everybody loves this because they're more active on that line than they normally would be. Sometimes they're intimidated being on the radio live or talking to me. But at Sound Off, it's just leave a message and they blast it.
What's the average number of sound offs you get? And we don't hear, we probably don't hear what? 50% of them?
We probably get 50 to 100 a day. Okay. And you know, we have a staff of interns and other personnel that has to go through them early in the morning. They come in and they choose the best ones. And they choose the ones that they know will get under my skin a little bit so I can respond.
You also have every year, and you just did it recently on your show, the celebrity call-in, where somebody gets a chance to win a lot of money by having a big-name celebrity call in to you. And, you know, I was pretty impressed when I heard Jack Nicklaus on the line.
Jack Nicklaus called in last week and talked about White Marsh. He's won here a couple of times in the old IVB Classic. He has great memories of this course here. He eagled hole number 8 and hole number 2, which is, you know, that they're my triple bogey holes. With 8 iron shots. We had Mike Tyson call in. This year we gave away cash. We usually give away Eagle season tickets, and we had some kind of illegal entanglement. But last year the contest in the 6 o'clock hour was just amazing. We had P. Diddy, who wound up winning the contest. Donald Trump called in. Anne Hathaway called in, the Oscar-winning actress. And this is the reflection, Harry, of the social media world, where you can get in touch with celebrities via Twitter, and you badger them so much, they say, I got to get rid of this guy, and they call the station.
Jack Nicklaus, doesn't he have enough to do without call? First of all, looking at his emails, I thought he'd have like 8 guys looking at his emails.
You catch him on a good mood, and they say, okay, this guy wants me to call. I can win $2,000 for this guy. Why not? And they call it.
Unbelievable. Talking about game, Mike's got a little game. You're going to put it on display?
Very little.
What do you say we head out here to the links at White Marsh and check out what kind of game he has away from his microphone? You know, Mike, I'm just wondering, you know, what golf is to you in your life. I mean, you're so busy doing everything. How do you get time, and what do you enjoy about getting out
The thing about golf is you make time. And on weekends, I'll get out here on Saturdays and or Sunday. And during the week, I got a buddy who can play early in the morning with me, and I'll maybe try to squeeze in 9 holes. The thing about golf, a lot of people think, well, golf, it's so long, it's so boring. But it gives you a chance to think and look at greenery and walk the course. I mean, it's just brain refreshing.
You never think about sound off out here on the golf course?
No, I don't. I think about how beautiful it is, and I'm kind of concentrating on the niceties of a golf course, which means I'm not concentrating on my game enough, and that's been the whole problem.
Well, speaking of which, let's see what kind of game you have. We're at 18.
Well, first of all, this is a great finishing hole, Harry.
Oh, it is. See.
Yeah. You've got the clubhouse in the back, and it's just such an old course.
Yeah, and George Thomas was the architect, who I think his father owned his land. This was
he
like
did.
a nursery or something,
yes.
right?
Yeah,
it was
like
like
a mill of some sort.
Okay.
And yeah, he designed, and all of a sudden he got in the golf course design. He designed Riviera out in L.A. I don't know how that happened, but this has been a venerable course. They've made a lot of great additions here.
Let's see if it's helped your game any.
I don't think so.
All right, 13.
The pressure is on, Harry.
13 handicap, huh?
Well, yeah, around there.
Did I let a secret out of the bag? Have you been sandbagging people? Huh? You play those big Nassau matches?
I guess 18? I am. So you're not going to swing the club here?
Well, I may. Oh, I mean, I don't want to spoil a good thing.
Yeah, I know you're used to have the windmill in the middle, but you know,
and the clown.
Come over here and take the White Marsh challenge.
There's that little fade.
Little fade, did I meet the trap? Did I get it over? Yes, I did.
Oh, and a run out.
That's about as good as you can hit it right there, out of bed.
Now listen, folks, you know how he says he never hears sound off? Well, he didn't take one practice swing. We came right from up in front of the clubhouse. He picked up the club, but that was pretty impressive.
That's not a bad shot. I'll take that.
I don't want to ruin that picture, okay? Let's see how he does with number 2. Well, Mike, you're a pretty tough 13 here. It's a great shot. You're sitting how far out from this hole?
Well, that says 168, Harry, but it's uphill a little bit. It'll play a little longer than that, so I'm going to just kind of try to pop a rescue and get it to the surface. I've got to hit it pretty solid to get it there.
Well, it's a tough shot. Oh, you just put a little too much left hand in it.
Yeah, I yanked it a little bit over there.
Don't hit that cart. Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, but I'm fine. I'll be able to chip that on.
Right there, up and down with Mike Missanelli.
All right, ball in the rough, tough shot because you got to decide whether you're going to be fine with it or just get it on the green. Most guys like me have the ego, and they actually think they can hit a good shot here. So let's see how it goes.
All right, you need a Phil Mickelson special here.
I do. I need to open the face a little bit, but make sure I hit it hard enough.
And finish.
Yes.
Like that. That's going to roll right down to the hole. Well, it kicked a little right on you.
Yeah, I'll take that, though.
Well, you got, what, about 9 feet for par?
Yes. We'll see if I can make that.
Is putting a strong part of your game?
No.
Okay. He's honest. That's what he said. He likes to be honest.
I don't know putting is a strong part of anybody's game, to be honest with you. But
you don't need this tended from there, do you?
No.
You all right? I can take the pin?
And this looks like it's going to go from my right to left a little bit. And my problem has always been getting it to the hole. I'm always afraid to hit it.
That's the amateur dilemma, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. I got to make a run for it if it's on the camera. I can't be short on this putt because that'd be humiliating.
Par putt on 18 at White Marsh for Mikey Miss. Mikey makes, not Mikey Miss. Let me get room service.
Can you guys come out every day?
That was one take. Wow, I'm pretty impressed. Huh? Great tee shot.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
You put the second shot there where you could handle it, and wow.
Always good to end with a par, and when you haven't played the first 17 holes, I'm thinking I'd play par golf today.
Absolutely. He shot 4 today, folks. That's it. He's going to put a 4 in there on his handicap sheet. Mike, a pleasure. Thanks for having us here at White Marsh Valley. And you know, I was going to say, if you missed that putt, probably you could have benefited from our next guest, Joe Donahue. Joe is in his 80s. He's still caddying. We'll meet Joe Donahue in just a moment. Our thanks to Mike Missanelli. Weekday afternoons, 97.5 The Fanatic. You got to tune in. Ask him about his golf game the next time you call the show. Back in a moment on Inside Golf, presented by Susquehanna Bank and Wealth Management.
When you step out, make sure you go all in. Because at Valley Forge Casino Resort, we're rolling out the action. And we'll bring it all to the table. So take us for a spin and go all in for the win. Valley Forge Casino Resort. It's safe, it's chic, and only a shuffle away from the main line.
Guests of Teed Off receive gift certificates to any of the 8 restaurants at Valley Forge Casino at King of Prussia.
And it's been a joy for the fans, I think, to hear somebody jump.
Welcome back to Inside Golf. We continue with our Teed Off segment. We're back at the Valley Forge Casino Resort, specifically Viviano's Restaurant. Italian food, and it is the best with Chef Tony Clark preparing it. One of 8 great restaurants here at the Valley Forge Casino Resort. And our panel today, no stranger, Joe Logan. He's with MyPhillyGolf.com. Also, Harry Mays back with us today. Harry is the host 10 to 12 weekday mornings on ESPN Radio 97.5 The Fanatic. And Bob Shepard, well-known golf professional, instructor, and author. All right, guys, there's a new sheriff in town, or going to be, when it comes to televising professional golf, specifically Fox Sports. And we're talking about the U.S. Open. What is a long-term contract?
Long-term, yes.
Replacing NBC, so no more Johnny Miller unless he jumps ship and goes to Fox, although I doubt it. And what do you think? How is Fox going to handle golf? We've seen them with baseball, football, the NFL, and NASCAR.
They've done a great job with all of these things. They've paid huge amounts of money for, started up. They've great talent. They've brought a lot of innovations. If they will just not have that mechanical, robotic thing they have for football, if they don't do that for golf, they'll be, I'll be happy. But they're talking about hiring Greg Norman, who would be, I don't know how he would be, to tell you the truth, as a
well,
lead
we've
commentator.
seen Greg at times on other networks and also the Golf Channel at times. I don't know, Harry. What are your thoughts about, 1, Fox, and 2, Greg Norman?
I'm anxious to see, what they're going to do, because they've done some great things with some of the other sports that they've had over the years. I will not miss NBC's coverage. Aside from Johnny Miller and Roger Maltby, the rest of the crew I'm not a big fan of. But as far as Greg Norman, I think he would be all right. And maybe you take a Gary McCord, seems like a Fox type of guy, with the way he does. Put him on one of the holes. Or a David Faherty, as Nance likes to say.
Well, they have rated talent in other sports. Longtime ESPN basketball analyst Bill Raftery now has jumped ship and will be doing the Big East Conference on Fox.
Right.
So, I mean, a guy like Faherty, I don't think money's an object, Bob, when it comes to Fox.
Like
they can lash it out there, lay it out there for anybody.
They're number one. The other thing, too, is if you think about Norman's entry into the field, Miller's best compliment has been his ability to be ascetic with the players. He's been very critical of them, and it's been it's been a joy for the fans, I think, to hear somebody jump on him and not idolize him all the time. And as you know, and I know, through the years, Greg Norman has been the king of that also. I mean, he's not been kind in his description
of people.
He doesn't hold back. He
yeah.
doesn't hold back at all. So I think, hey, let's give him a shot. I think it's a good change. Johnny Miller get old? Did Ken Venturi get old? Who knows? But this is a change. It's the whole station, and they're trying to revamp the whole program, so it might be interesting.
Yeah, right now as it stands, Joe, I think they only have the one event. It's the U.S. Open. So are they going to pour out a lot for talent for just one golf event?
No, the thing, you don't just get the U.S. Open.
Right.
You get all 13 USGA events.
Right, all the
problem they have, and the problem that NBC had was the U.S. Open is the only thing that makes money. So you still got to go cover, the girls amateur and the junior amateur. These things are expensive to cover, and they don't bring in any money. They're all money losers, and so all your baskets, all your eggs are in the U.S. Open basket. So are they going to go out and line up other things? I don't know.
Well, their style is, they're going to make it interesting for all these other people. They're going to up the ante when it comes to bidding on things like the PGA Championship, and therefore the Ryder Cup. That'd be a nice package, right?
Yep, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Ryder Cup is CBS.
Yeah.
They're not
the Ryder Cup has been on NBC with that's because that's a PGA.
You think the
event.
Masters will walk over?
Well, that's a year-to-year contract.
I know.
That's like Walter Austin's old deal as manager of the Dodgers, where he just signed a one-year contract. If I'm CBS, I'm nervous a little bit, aren't you?
I would
Although,
think so.
could the people at Augusta get along with Fox?
Amen corner,
huh? That would be a little different. Well, we'll have to wait and see. Like I say, a new sheriff in town, and he's looking to go out there and maybe buy up some more territory. Thanks to Bob, to Harry, and to Joe. Inside Golf is back with more in just a moment. The Valley Forge Casino Resort is the region's only full amenity gaming resort, and it's only seconds from the Pennsylvania Turnpike at King of Prussia. It features 600 slots, 50 table games, plus 8 restaurants designed to meet all of your dining needs. So put the beautiful Valley Forge Casino Resort on your destination list.
Honey, what are all these cash rewards?
Stellar Checking with Smart Rewards. We earn cash on check card purchases and when we transfer money from our Stellar Checking into our savings account.
Cool. How should we spend them?
Stellar. Stellar.
Stellar!
Probably groceries.
Stellar Checking from Susquehanna Bank. Earn cash rewards whether you're spending or saving. Member FDIC.
Welcome back to Inside Golf, presented by Susquehanna Bank and Wealth Management. Caddying is a big part of the game of golf. It's great to get out there as an amateur, and for pros, they rely on caddies for a lot. And here's a gentleman, Joe Donahue, at the age of what, Joe, 81?
81.
You are still caddying on the Champions Tour, right?
That's right.
Joe's a Philadelphia native. His son, Dan, works here at White Marsh Valley Country Club. That's how I got to hear about Joe. Joe, when did you start caddying on the tour?
On the tour here, probably in '63.
During that IVB, White Marsh Valley Classic, right?
Right. They went 63 to 80.
Okay. Who were some of the guys you caddied for?
Well, everyone from Albus to Zabriskie.
Okay. Babe Zabriskie? Is that his
No.
name? What was his first name? Oh, that's not important. Did you ever have a winner?
Oh, yeah, we've had only a couple winners. One of them was 1980 here with a gentleman that, for some reason, is skipping my mind.
1980. It wouldn't have been. I'm trying to think. Tom Kite won back in those days.
He finished second.
He finished second. Okay. And now let's bring it up to forward. You're still doing it. In fact, you were recently up in Canada. Who'd you caddy for up there?
I caddy for a gentleman, James Mason, a really fine guy. And we didn't do well because we need to putt better.
Okay, well, that's true no matter what level of golf you're at. Do you have an agent? How do people find out about you, like these tour players?
Well, you approach them, and you can ask for the job.
Right.
That's the big deal. Do you need a caddy today? Can I get you down in New Orleans? Or could we get together in Hawaii next week, where I'll be going?
How's the pay? Pretty good?
The pay, you have to have a good player to get good pay.
And if they make their putts, it's better, right?
I don't have a desire to go to the top because I'm not committed to do all of the tournament.
I got you.
These other fellows are doing this for a livelihood. I don't want to get involved in their livelihood.
I hear you. So how many tournaments, say, have you done this year altogether?
Probably 5.
Okay. Who's your favorite guy to caddy for?
Well, recently it was Bob Murphy for 5 or 6 years. Just a wonderful gentleman and a giver back. He had 40 Pro-Am tournaments at his golf course in Florida and donated all that money to one hospital, one nearby hospital.
I understand, too, a 2-time U.S. Open champion when he was on the regular tour, still plays on the senior tour, and we see him a lot on ESPN. Andy North is a guy you caddied for. Tell us about Andy North.
Well, Andy North is he's another wonderful character and just a great guy. And that's who I like to work for. I like to work for nice people. And Andy North is far and above, still today, one of the best players out there, if he wished to play. But of course, he's hooked up on television.
Yeah, he's making more money, I think, behind the scenes than out there on the course. How do you stay in shape? You know, for a guy your age, you look like you're in great shape. How do you stay in shape enough to carry a bag and walk 18 holes maybe 3 times a weekend on these tours?
That's part of the payoff for working. That's part of the payoff. My legs are like iron. My legs are great. God gave me such great legs. He missed something up top, but he did give me great legs.
Well, I know what you mean when you say missing something up top. I know you have an autograph hat here. It's Jim Colbert. Now, Jim Colbert was a mighty fine player, both on the regular tour and then he went out on the senior tour, and it seemed like he won everything out there.
He won an awful lot of them. And he would walk off there after making that putt.
And he'd have the collar up. And the bucket hat.
Look, and I got more hats of Mr. Colbert. He was so good in giving them to me because I need to cover my ears.
Right. Well, it's been a pleasure, Joe, meeting you finally. I know you're proud of your son, Dan, here at White Marsh Valley Country Club.
Absolutely.
Not as proud, however, as he is of you. Good luck out there. Keep toting. All right?
I'm going to keep rolling. I'm going to roll till I drop.
Joe Donahue, still caddying in his 80s. And that's going to do it for this week's edition of Inside Golf from beautiful White Marsh Valley Country Club. I want to thank Mike Missanelli for joining us. Of course, Joe Donahue to wrap up our show. Remember, no matter how bad it's going for you out there, don't pick up. We'll see you next time on Inside Golf, presented by Susquehanna Bank and Wealth Management. Inside Golf, presented by Susquehanna Bank. Susquehanna Bank, doing what counts. By Club Champion, better fit, lower scores. Visit their Bala-Cynwyd location. And by the Philadelphia Section PGA, experts in the game and business of golf.